So, you can't sleep? What else is new? Neither can most people, I feel like. It's very difficult to sleep in today's day and age. We're stimulated all the time. Our eyeballs are like a window for excitement, and bright neon lights penetrate our iris and flood our brains with dopamine. It's so difficult to do the same thing that our ancestors have been doing for literally thousands of years. But here we are now. How do we fix it? I'll talk about sleep hygiene here in a minute, but for this experiment, we want to look at all of the available options for someone to use an over-the-counter sleep medicine. So I have, I think, 7 of them here. Yes, I have 7 with me here today. First one is Magnesium Bisglycinate. So the dose here is somewhere between 100 and 400 milligram at bedtime. And the magnesium and the bisglycinate part kind of just create like a softening, kind of a relaxing feeling. Moving up in perceived, efficacy, melatonin. This is a hormone. I've done a full deep dive into this. It does not decrease your natural melatonin secretion. It is not habit forming. There is no withdrawal. That is all a massive myth. The proper dose is 5 milligram or less. It could be somewhere between a couple hundred micrograms and 5 milligram, but I typically recommend 5 milligram at night, about a half hour before you go to bed, not as you're going to bed. Moving up, we have Doxylamine, 25 milligram. This is a first generation antihistamine, but this is marketed specifically for sleep, although it doesn't have to be for sleep. You could use this for allergies. But I don't really know how we kind of decided that this was just for sleep as a nation, but we did. First generation antihistamines like this cross the blood-brain barrier, and there seems to be some debate as to actually how this creates sleepiness. If you ask pretty much any trained medical professional, will say that the anticholinergic side effect makes you a little bit drowsy. If you ask anybody who uses a Google search engine, they'll tell you that it modulates the H1 receptor. I don't know. Both are correct as far as I'm concerned. And of course, this wouldn't be a Grant Harding video without diphenhydramine. I'll be trying this as well. This is very, very similar to doxylamine. It's a first generation antihistamine. The differences are minute. I couldn't even possibly, the packaging, the chemical is just ever so slightly different. Now for our cool stuff, we have No Ghost Monster Repellent. Interesting to see how that works. And I saw this at a gas station and I wanted to try it. InstaSleep. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, that's just some junk, just some melatonin junk. Look at the back here. It has like real, actual chemicals in it. Melatonin being one of them, and a tryptophan-like molecule, as well as a GABA. GABA is in there as well. So I'm going to save this one for last. I know people want me to try this as well, so I will. ZzzQuil. Now, ZzzQuil and this are the exact same thing, diphenhydramine. But ZzzQuil actually has alcohol in it, ethyl alcohol, as a solvent. It helps, supposedly it helps the chemicals kind of dissolve in the aqueous solution here. I doubt it's actually needed. I think they put it in there for the exact reason why you think they put it in there. But I'm going to try this as well in this experiment. So for this experiment, we need to take a look at the time to fall to sleep, the time spent being asleep, and how I feel when I wake up. To start, we'll be raw dogging it. No medication, nothing. It's 2 a.m. and I'm ready to go to bed. I actually go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning for reasons I don't want to get into right now. And I wanted to talk about sleep hygiene first. First thing we do is drop it like it's hot. We should be down here 73. I'll do 74 actually. Whatever is cozy to you, you want to be like way below that. So I'm picking 74 here tonight, and this is what I'll do for the rest of the experiment. Second thing is it has to be dark, and I mean really dark. Like, is it dark where you sleep? Is it really, really dark? Take a look at this. These are blackout blinds, and underneath it I have this impenetrable, I don't know, it's some fabric I got from a company that makes these for hotels, and it's attached, it's a flush seal. I use magnets to attach it to the wall around the window. Absolutely no light can get through. Look how dark this is. I don't even know if there's any light coming in at all. Like, I can't see the hand in front of my face. Oh, there you are. Third thing is no screens. Light is bad. So I like to unwind with some easy reading. Tonight I am going to be reading this book. It's pretty good. The main character, he seems like a pretty good guy. Get something that is important to you. My bed, it was actually kind of expensive, believe it or not. I know it doesn't look like it, but the most expensive thing you're looking at here is this pillow. Because to me, having the correct pillow, the thing that I like the most, was the most important thing. And that's what you have to do. So I guess you just kind of have to identify like what's most important to you. And for me, it's just my pillow. Well, that was horrible. Raw dogging sleep is not my new favorite activity. I think I fell asleep. It took a good, half hour, 45 minutes. And it was around 3 a.m. and I got up at 9 a.m. So I only got 6 hours and I couldn't fall back asleep. That was not a fun time. I'm not really excited for the rest of this day. So step one, raw dogging. I have to give that a thumbs down. No, but seriously, actually, not taking anything is the best, but some people can't, so. Also, I actually do feel pretty well rested, I'm not even kidding, but the psychological impact of knowing I only got 6 hours of sleep is going to haunt me all day. I know it will. Probably around 10 o'clock tonight, I'm going to wish that I was in bed, I would think. Okay, what do we got tonight? Okay, this is the magnesium night. Magnesium bisglycinate or glycinate, doesn't matter which one. This is something that I haven't tried until recently, actually, and I really liked it. This is different than pretty much everything else you're going to see on this list. So the magnesium supposedly modulates GABA, which is a neurotransmitter that kind of helps you. It kind of like depresses what's going on there. It's not excitatory, it's the opposite. It kind of like calms everything down. And then the glycinate portion kind of helps just create a soothing and relaxing feeling. So if you notice, it doesn't make you sleepy per se. What we want really whenever we're helping someone sleep is we want them to become sleepy. We don't want them to become tired. Well, they can become tired and relaxed. They're different from sleepy, but still, that still can have some benefit. So the dose to this, depending on who you ask, is somewhere between 100 and 400 milligrams. But by the way, I noticed this here. You see what this says here? 200 milligram per serving. Well, how much is a serving? It's 2 capsules. In fact, I was fooled by this. I thought this was 200 milligram per capsule. It's not. It's 100 milligram per capsule. I'll be taking 2 of these tonight. Between 1 and 400 milligram is about right. And let's get relaxed. I feel like I don't really need to be showing myself in bed every night. I think you get the point. It's a pretty standard thing people do is they get into bed. It's been, about 45 minutes or something, and I'm still awake. I definitely feel really calm. I feel a calming sensation, which is good, but I'm not asleep. And I'm contemplating taking a melatonin, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to fight this through. The irony is that I typically would be pretty mad that I'm not sleeping. You notice that vicious circle. Probably some of you who struggle with sleep, you get mad because you're not sleeping, then it excites you, and then you can't sleep because you're mad, and it just kind of revolves. But I feel pretty calm right now, but whatever. Eventually I'll get to sleep. Well, I think that was thumbs not quite terrible, just kind of almost bad. So it didn't help me get to sleep at all. I don't know how long it took. I'm going to say at least 45 minutes, right? It was probably closer to an hour and a half. And I did feel really calm, and I did sleep longer. I slept until maybe like 10 or 11 a.m. I don't feel super well rested. it maybe was a little bit better than my regular sleep, but it's kind of tough to tell. So with this one, I would say I would use this in conjunction with another medication. I wouldn't just use this to sleep. I don't think that's going to help someone actually sleep, really. This is just my personal experience here. Next on the list is one of my good buddies, melatonin. Melatonin is something you can take every night for long periods of time, but the reason why people are reluctant to say that is because we don't have actual studies that focused on that specific thing to figure out. But all of our available data points to, yes, it's fine to take for a long period of time. I actually take 5 milligram of melatonin every night, and I will tonight as well. Let's take this and see how it differs. As stated previously, the dose can be between 1 and 5 milligram or even lower. This is not a the more you give, the better it works type of medicine. So again, it's about 2 a.m. and we'll see what happens here. By the way, I'm wearing, this is my new merch from YouTube that you can get through the YouTube shop. It's not embroidered. There's no embroidery options yet, so it's just screen printed polo, but I don't know, it's pretty nice, like it fits nice. I think this is an extra large or something. Remember folks, good sleep hygiene, cool temperature, comfy pillow if that's your thing, and just let it do its thing. The melatonin sleep was okay, really wasn't the best, but that's to be expected with melatonin. Melatonin's really not that effective, and you have to take it consistently for several nights in a row before you see an effect. Now, I take melatonin every night, so I know how this affects me, and I was really, really tired after about 10-15 minutes or so after taking it. And that's great. It put me to bed really quickly. Like I don't even think it took me a full 10 minutes to fall asleep, if I'm being honest. But here's the bad thing. It's not going to help you stay asleep that well. I mean, kind of a little bit. And for me, it didn't. I was up again in about 6 or 7 hours, and I just didn't really feel that great. But here I am now. You know, I do feel well enough rested, but all I can say is that this helped put me to sleep, but it didn't help me stay asleep. It's 2 a.m. and I wanna go to bed. I got a lady running through my head. Alright, Unisom. This is what we got on the menu for tonight. It is 2 a.m. and I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty tired to begin with, so I'm hoping this gives me a really special boost. So this is Doxylamine, and you take 25 milligram. This is the one that is very, very similar to diphenhydramine. I mean, it's difficult to really find a real difference. Sanofi, okay. Pretty important name in the pharmaceutical world. Looks very nice, very professional. It's the least you can expect with a brand name medication such as this. I never buy brand medication, so it's always kind of like a little treat for me to look at these pills. I mean, look, they look so professional. They have the words Unisom stamped right into them. Hold on, Amberlynn. Yeah, I mean, you can't really see it, but I think it looks pretty cool. So let's see how this works. Remember, first generation antihistamine, anticholinergic, may or may not modulate the H1 receptor in the brain. Well, it definitely does, but people debate over whether that's significant for the drowsiness feeling or not. I'm not going to show myself going to bed tonight because everybody always has the same comment. You're a pharmacist, why does your room look like that? Look, folks, I like to live very modestly. I drive a very old car. My place is very small, and I value things like financial security. Combine that with the fact that I have zero sense in fashion or decorating or color. I am so horrible at it. You get what ends up looking like my room and the rest of my place. I don't even like showing my place because people say that same comment all the time. Well, I'm sorry I don't spend my money like you think a pharmacist should, but it is what it is. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the morning. That was amazing. This is definitely my favorite so far. Holy criminy. When I took this last night, I was seriously out within 5 minutes. The time to sleep was essentially nothing. I stayed asleep very long. I don't really know for sure because I probably woke up after about 10 hours. I'm not even kidding. But like I didn't get out of bed and I was still like kind of off and on in sleep. I didn't actually wake up until 11. It was over 11 hours. That's whenever I finally looked at the clock. I feel incredibly well rested. I am probably just a little bit drowsy though, however. I will say that. I'm not entirely sure how long it was, but it was between 10 and a half and 11 and a half hours I slept, definitely. I could feel the side effects of this being a first generation antihistamine. I remember breathing through my nose and it was very, very unabated. There's no runniness, there's no clogged nose going on at all. Everybody, for some reason, loves to hear me talk about the link between first-generation antihistamines and dementia. Yes, anything with an anticholinergic effect, which in first generation does have, has been linked to an increased risk of dementia. So this is just a short-term, every once in a while thing. We don't recommend that you use this long-term. But I have to give this a thumbs up all around. For short term, very, very good. I am incredibly surprised. I've actually tried this before another time, and I did not have such a pleasant experience. It was almost like I forgot I even took it. But this one, last night, it really helped. On tonight's menu, we have diphenhydramine. So yes, this is a sleep medication, as most people know. It's very similar to the Unisom or the Doxylamine. This is a first-generation antihistamine. It's so incredibly similar to Unisom that I really couldn't even point you in any direction. So let's open this up. These are 25 milligram tablets, and for sleep you take 50 milligram actually is the proper dose. So I will need to take 2 of these bad boys here. I hate these types of lids. You have to it's like you're a bank robber, like you're gonna crack a safe just to get the lid off. Dang, poor people with arthritis, my goodness. This is, of course, I don't know if you saw that. This is from Amazon. This is the Amazon, basics or whatever. One of the claims to fame, I guess you could say, of diphenhydramine is how unique the tablets and capsules look. I mean, look at how bright this is. I mean, holy criminy. These are like hot pink daddies. All right, so we're taking 2 of these. We need 50 milligram. Okay, let's see how this works. I've predicted it'll be similar to the Unisom. Back from my diphenhydramine dungeon the next day. Well, it went pretty well. Like I predicted, it was very similar to the Doxylamine or the Unisom. I was very, very tired within only a couple minutes, but I wasn't very sleepy, But still, even tiredness can help put someone to bed. I fell asleep very quickly, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Perhaps it's a little bit longer than taking the Doxylamine. And I slept for a good 10 and a half hours. The half-life of diphenhydramine really isn't that long. But side note, half-life actually isn't as important as people think. Duration of action and half-life are typically pretty similar, but not always. In other words, the longer the half-life, the longer the duration of action. But that is not always true. So just a mistake there. I see people look at half-life as the be-all, end-all for how long a medication lasts, and that's just not true sometimes. But anyway, the half-life is relatively short, or the duration of action is relatively short, but it's still, I slept the entire night through, so I'm very, very happy. I felt that very common, I'll call it first-generation whoosh. The air going in through my nose was unabated, very dry, and, it's just common with those first-generation antihistamines. Waking up, I felt a little bit groggy. Very, very similar to the Doxylamine that I tried prior. So all in all, I have to give this a thumbs up, at least just for short term. It's worth a try. Long term, no, it still has that risk for dementia, and it just wouldn't be good to take something that's creating that much sedation for a long period of time. Anyway, all right, everyone's favorite, ZzzQuil. Now, I'm excited to try this, but not really, because this is the same active ingredient as this, the diphenhydramine that we tried last night. All this is a liquid form of diphenhydramine, and it does contain alcohol as well. So let's take a look at this. Cut away from yourself. That's what I was told by my viewers. Now, this is beautiful packaging. No one can deny that. Comes with this nice little cup. And this is a sturdy cup, lads. Look, it's got little, they're serrated, I guess, so you can hold it better. This is not a fly-by-night product. And then you got the little undoer there. Now, here's something important. What's the difference between this and children's allergy relief diphenhydramine? One is the concentration. So this is 50 milligram per 30 ml. The children's version would be 12.5 milligram per 5. All we want is 30 ml here. It's nice and purple, so you know it works, right? It's got this very friendly looking color. All right, let's take this. You can definitely taste the alcohol. Folks, 10% alcohol is a lot. You can feel the burn going down your throat. This is the adult version. That's why it has alcohol, right? Well, you actually can give this amount of alcohol to children. There are federal limits, and this is within the limit, actually. But still, why would you give this to a kid? There's no point in doing that. It's supposedly a solvent. It helps the things dissolve a little bit better in this aqueous solution. But it's just not really that important. So I would say just don't give it to kids, even though it probably is okay, at least by the FDA recommendations. So on here, this is for children 12 and over. I just want to talk about the alcohol thing one more time. So apparently between children 6 to 12 years old, the limit is alcohol is 5%. So this is 10%. So it would not be appropriate per FDA OTC guidelines for children between 6 and 12 years old. But if I would take this and mix it half and half with water, then it would be 5%. And then that would be okay. Now, how dumb is that? It's the same thing. It's just the percentage is different. I don't know. But then again, they also consider the dosing on the back, so perhaps that's why. But for prescriptions, as far as I know, there is no standard. There is no regulation. And I've seen, I don't remember off the top of my head the exact resource I was looking at, but it's really not that big of a deal. But still, like I said before, there's no reason to try it. There's absolutely no reason why you have to give a child alcohol. So, all right. Let's see how that feels. Once again, this was a very similar experience to the last two I tried. So last night, I went to bed very quickly, maybe 5-10 minutes, something like that. And I slept the whole night through. The only real difference is the alcohol kind of, like that burning sensation was kind of soothing. I mean, it kind of made me feel a little bit more at peace. But other than that, there really wasn't much difference. Of course, I still got that first generation whoosh and everything. I slept the whole night through, 10 hours or so, something along those lines. And I feel just ever so slightly groggy. I mean, the last 3 that I've tried have been so similar, it's difficult for me to even really explain the difference because the active ingredients are the same or similar, depending on which two you compare. So, I have to give this the same recommendation I've been getting everything else in this class. Thumbs up, short term. Thumbs up, short term. That's it. I'm excited for tonight. I got an interesting one tonight. Well, this is a Pharmacist first. Inside this package, I have one of the most unique medicines I have ever come across. No Ghost, Monster, and Ghost Repellent. Ghost Monster and Bad Dream Repellent. So there's actually 3 uses to this. I presume this is the FDA used indication. It's 3 floral ounces. Okay, the ingredients, this is the important part. The ingredients are lavender, pure essence oil. Okay. That keeps, I think that's good for poltergeists specifically. Each of these components keeps away a certain ghost or so. Other ingredients, water. That's for vampires, right? They don't like water or something. Glycerin, those are for the succubi. Uh, oh, that's shea butter. Whatever the technical, I never even knew there was a technical term for shea butter. Butyrospiripum Park 2, whatever, shea butter. That is probably for ghouls, probably. There's ghouls. I hope this protects against banshees. That's actually one of the things I'm most scared about ever since I read The Divine Comedy. Warning, for external use only, avoid contact with the eyes. Some people are allergic to lavender. If a rash occurs, reduce or stop using. Okay. And this is by our boys at Progressive Placebo in Utah. Now the uses here says, your kids are safe, but they're still afraid to sleep. No ghost sleep repellent works like a placebo. If they think it works, it probably helps. Plus, lavender has been shown to help reduce stress and anxiety and encourage sleep. Win-win. That is illegal to put on a container. You cannot make a claim that lavender reduces stress and anxiety. You have to go through the FDA and get approval to make that claim. Obviously, they mean no harm by this, but that is technically illegal. Okay, apply a small amount to your child's forehead and or cheeks. So I got the kids version here today, but I'll still be using it. Forehead and cheeks, explain to them that ghost monsters and bad dreams do not like the smell of the ghost repellent and will stay away. The more they believe it actually works, the calmer they will be. So sell it. Okay, so we need a small amount to the cheekies. It doesn't specify actually. Is this butt cheeks or face cheeks? We better do both just to make sure. Okay, so it says a small amount. This is what it looks like to the forehead. Right here. Wow, it smells awful. This smells like if you were going on a field trip and you went to like an old-timey, like 1800s style setting, like an old village. That's what this smells like. It smells like an old village. All right, now I gotta put these on my butt cheeks. I'm just kidding. All right, folks. Everybody quit screwing around. Okay, we have real life medicine. Ghost repellent. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm going to leave a bad review if I see a ghost. Should I write them a letter and tell them that they're not allowed to make that claim on their bottle? Cuz I feel like whoever made that, they had no idea. Nobody thinks about that. Oh my gosh. 0 out of 10 stars. I definitely saw a ghost. But this is cute. I think I should make a separate video of this sometime. Finally, we have made our way to the ultimate sleep medicine, InstaSleep. I saw this at a gas station one time and I knew I wanted to try it because I picked it up and I looked at the back and it was more than just melatonin. I thought these were just going to be fancy melatonin tablets. They indeed were not. So the directions are 1 tablet, allowed to dissolve naturally before swallowing. Use InstaSleep 15 to 20 minutes before your desired bedtime. Good, so the labeling on here is correct. Now, let's take a look at what's actually in this. 5-hydroxytryptophan. Okay, so that's a chemical that the body uses to turn into serotonin. Remember, serotonin everybody associates with happiness, but there are other functions of serotonin in the body. And yes, serotonin can promote sleepiness. So that makes sense that that's in there. Gamma aminobutyric acid, or GABA, this is a neurotransmitter that blocks the pathway. So it kind of slows the brain down and just kind of has a little bit of a calming effect. Whenever I took the magnesium glycinate kind of does a similar thing. It kind of uses those GABA pathways in a way. So this is kind of just a different way of making that calming effect, really. And then it has melatonin in here. Don't know how much. It's a proprietary blend. So I hope it has 5 milligram. But we'll see here. So let's open this up. Okay, let's open this up. Oh, and these are also like these like little melt-away tablets. Okay, very professional. It's got our lot number and everything. So these are melt-away tablets. So if I push this through, is it gonna... Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, so my first negative thing to say is the packaging is one of these like little pusher popper things, but this is a melt-away tablet, so it's very fragile. So yeah, it broke. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm still gonna get the same dose. It's just, I don't know, something to think about. If I was creating this, I would have probably put it in a different packaging. All right, does it go on the tongue or under the tongue? It says in mouth. Okay, here we go. It has a little bit of a mint taste to it. Do you remember Tic Tacs? Kind of tastes like that. Okay, so far the taste is probably a 1 out of 10. Not a fan. And here's the other thing about this. This does not need to be a dissolvable tablet. It can just be a tablet. I don't know why this is dissolvable. Things should be dissolvable if they're commonly used in situations where you can't swallow. So think of like a nausea medicine. You know, on Dancitron, that's a dissolvable tablet because if you're very nauseous, you can't swallow water or else you'll throw up, you know? People who, you know, in hospice who can't do anything, including swallow, then you dissolve things buccally. You know, they make sublingual tablets and stuff. That's unnecessary, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just unnecessary. I don't remember how much this was. I'll put it on here, but I don't think it was too expensive, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, let's let that chill for 15 to 20 minutes and then go to bed. I am so happy to try this out. Okay, the irony here is that this is a new medication for me. I've never tried 5-HTP before. I get so excited to try these things that now I'm really excited and I don't know if I can sleep now. Oh my gosh, this is the best day of my life. Well, that really wasn't that great. I didn't fall asleep quickly at all. It was a good half hour, 45 minutes. And I woke up only a couple hours later. I probably only got 3 hours of sleep before I was awake. But I was able to go back to sleep very quickly. And then this pattern kind of repeated all night. Every couple hours I'd wake up. I wasn't like fully awake though, but like I was conscious, you know what I mean? And I kept going back and forth. And eventually I got out of bed at noon. So, I mean, all in all, I was in bed I was probably 3 o'clock by the time I fell asleep. I don't know, maybe 9 hours or so. That's still pretty good. And I actually do feel really, really refreshed. This is the most refreshed I feel out of anything we've tried, actually, believe it or not. I can't give this a full thumbs up because this, you know, wake up, go back to sleep thing is probably not a good idea long term, I don't think. So I'm going to have to give this a thumbs 3/4. I'm just getting ridiculous with the rating scale now at this point. So, after trying all of these products, what are my final thoughts? I think, in my professional opinion, the best thing to take long term would be magnesium glycinate with melatonin. Now, I didn't take them together in this video, but I have done that before. You can take both of those long term. There's not a whole lot of risk, but I mean, that's something you need to discuss with your doctor, obviously, because they know you personally and I don't know you personally. And you can occasionally add a first generation antihistamine like Doxylamine or Diphenhydramine with that if you need to short term every once in a while. There'd be no harm in that. There's no interactions with those three chemicals, I mean. So, very interesting. I wasn't expecting this. Dang, I was really hoping this was going to be like a silver bullet, but it doesn't appear to be. I think it's still worth a try. Like, I would not discredit this, and I would not say it's a bad thing. It may work very well for some people, so I encourage you to use the information in this video to make a good financial decision whenever you're purchasing your next sleep medication. or supplement.